I'm gonna go get myself a drink.
Okay, you know what? I will too.
You do that, yeah. Wonderful. We're getting ourselves a drink, folks. Stand by.
Beautiful. I have my kombucha. It's not just for breakfast anymore. It's good for your gut health, and it tastes great. Comes in a lot of different flavors. From Health Aid. Try one today. hmm They are actually really good. My wife and son love them. Sue and
Oh yeah.
Sam.
I'm sorry, man. 1 second.
Yeah.
Actually, 2 seconds. There
Two
we go.
seconds. Okay. Well, I hope my friends are watching.
Here's a little audience warm up like a la Johnny Olson and like what you did on The Price is Right and what you do on Wheel of Fortune, of course, too.
Yeah.
So I wanted to talk about. Hey, everybody, I'm Chris Kenny. We're going to start the actual show in like about 3 minutes, but we're going to do a fast warm up. If you want to laugh, if you want to ask a question, type it in. Be respectful, of course. Be nice to us. And feel free to say hi to Jim and tell him how you doing in your comments and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
how many now you can see how many viewers we have?
Two currently, I
That's
believe.
great. Okay.
I
And
believe
I
two
think I
are
know both of them.
watching. Cool.
I
I'm gonna.
paid them both to watch.
Did you really? Oh my goodness!
No,
Wow.
one of them in Japan and one of them in Maryland. So hopefully
I
they're
want
both
to thank
watching.
you both for tuning in. It means a lot to me and Jim, of course.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm grateful to give Jim my space to chat with me today.
Oh, this will be fun.
Yeah, I remember now. I remember you posted a picture of you in drag, you dressing in a dress when I was in Virginia. That put a smile on my face.
uh, yeah, I was. That was last weekend at the burlesque show in Studio. Oh, you're talking about when I was 7 years old. Yeah.
When you were
No.
7 years
Yeah.
old, and two occasions. Oh, nice.
No, I just yeah that I was yeah I was 7 or 8, I
You
think
were
8 years
seven.
old with my
Yeah.
cousin. Yeah, with my cousin Tish, and they lived next door.
Tish, yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
and her
nice.
yeah, and so her mom had all these old dresses and stuff, and we were bored, and we used to do that sometimes. It was fun.
Awesome,
Yeah,
awesome.
I guess
I
that's still on my Facebook page. Yeah,
Yeah, I
that was
dress
fun.
in drag too, even to this day. I used to dress
Do
when I
you?
was little. I used to put dresses, tights, bodysuits when I do aerobics.
Yeah. Do you have show and tell? Do you have
Yeah,
any
I,
pictures?
I actually have a show and tell several on my
I mean,
Facebook.
I was
And
going to have you show a picture now, but
ah,
you
you
can
know,
you can pop one
we're
in.
I'm gonna do it right now. Stand by. I have one on my Instagram. Actually, I'm just gonna play along with you folks, and
Yeah.
well, to sum it all up, I'm not actually wearing a wig, but this is one of my
Oh, nice. Yeah. That's
dancer
cool.
pictures based off an old. This is somebody acquaintance I know,
Okay.
but this is
That's
one
you?
of.
I can hardly see, but that
That's
was you?
me. That was me. Yeah, you could see
Yeah,
my.
doing your Richard Simmons,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I don't have. Yes,
Jack
yes.
LaLanne.
Jack LaLanne. Now I don't have any of me in a dress currently, but I might have one in a wig coming soon.
Okay, that's cool.
But I have a
Good
few
for you, man.
dresses that none fit me at this point anymore, but
Yeah.
we'll see about that. Yeah, I'm gonna work on my body.
Hey,
But
Milton Berle made a career out of dressing up, in drag and stuff.
I know Milton Berle and
Yeah.
then Milton Teagle Simmons.
hmm Yeah.
Yeah, which was Richard Simmons, of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I want to thank you for that. And you made me smile that day, and I felt a lot better on the way home.
I'm
I
glad.
could bear the trip, thankfully. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
so you filled in for Roddy, especially in the wake of what happened to him, and it was like such sad times. I didn't even want to
Mhm.
hear of it. I loved Rod so much, and you did a great job filling the void for him.
Oh, thank you. That was 20 years ago. You
20,
know,
yeah, 20,
uh-huh.
22 years ago. Yep.
It was 2004.
Yep.
So
So I
yeah,
remember it
it
was
was
2003
exactly,
to
it was 21 years
2004.
ago.
Yeah, I remember the year
It,
2003 and 2004. Like on the cusp
yeah.
of it. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
On
I
the
was there at the end of after
border.
they'd gone through a lot of people filling
You
in
were
for
after Rich.
yes, Rich was there,
God,
and
yeah.
they still hadn't really landed on the exact voice, and I kind of knew that, and so I sent him my tape and heard back like 10 days later, and they had me come in, and what an experience that was. Are we rolling for real now?
We're rolling to real. Well, we will be in 1 minute. Yeah, we're going to talk more about this
Yeah,
soon. I
we
would
can save that stuff,
I would
you know.
love that. I would love to hear
Yeah.
more about that. But ready to go.
And
5. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Chris, where are you now?
I am currently near Forked River, New Jersey, in a place called Tom's River, actually.
Okay, Tom's River, New Jersey. Okay, good.
In New Jersey. I'm originally from New York, though.
Okay. Well,
But
cool. We won't hold that against you.
no, but hey, I actually love Virginia. I'm moving there one of these
Oh, you're
days.
from Virginia?
No, I'm moving to Virginia.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
Moving to
Nice
Richmond,
state.
Henrico. Yeah, so I'll be next to where you're from,
Yeah,
Huntington.
Richmond there. Yeah, Henrico. That's where my ancestors all moved to in like 9 generations ago. The Thornton name came there in
I,
1646,
I like
Henrico County.
that. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's very cool. Love it.
yeah.
Okay, so we're ready to go. This is Coffee with Chris and Jim Thornton. We're gonna have a good time. Two great buddies. Thanks to Jim for donating his
Yeah.
time, taking this time to chat with me. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Let's go.
Want to announce me? Let's do it. Here we go.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Coffee with Chris Kennedy. Now your host, Chris Kennedy.
How you doing, Jim? Woo! Thank you so much for that wonderful.
Anytime. The bill is in the mail.
Intro. Wonderful introduction. Intro. The bill is in the mail. I hope I get a bill from this. We can. Yeah, I'll cover you.
Absolutely. I take credit cards, small bills, firstborn
Yeah.
children, whatever.
Yeah, I don't have much of a budget, but I'll see what I can do.
Okay.
I'm
You got it.
sorry. I'm just an independent. You can tell by this small shoebox of a studio. I'm running on a
Hey,
shoestring budget.
it doesn't take much now. You don't have to have a big studio and all that. I mean, here we are, it's
Oh,
sitting here
thank
at home.
you. So long
Yeah.
as we have a personality. I like your place, by the way. You said this was your grandmother's painting in the back before the
Yes.
show.
Yeah, that's my grandmother did a painting of a house that we have
Like
it's
it.
a
Yeah,
family
there you
home in
go.
Ohio, and she did that. That's the house and my no, there's one painting with people in it that's my supposed to be my dad and his sister, my aunt, back then in the
Yes.
50s or whatever. But yeah, so she did that in the 50s when they lived there, I guess. So yeah,
Awesome. Awesome.
yeah, near my hometown of Huntington, West Virginia.
Yep, you're from Huntington, West Virginia, where I'm
Hmm.
right next to where I'm going to be moving soon, near Henrico, Virginia.
Yeah, Henrico County. Yeah,
Yep, I
it's
love
beautiful up there.
Virginia. Oh, thank you. Yeah.
I do too.
Jimmy Dean actually lived there for a long time in Virginia.
Did he? That makes
Yep.
sense.
Yep, the
Yeah.
country host
Mm-hmm.
and talk show host and
Jim and Dean Farm Fresh Sausage.
oh my God, I love the sausage. Yeah. I speak
Yeah.
with a husky southern accent sometimes,
Yeah.
even though I'm from New York City originally, so I have a broken dialect, as they call it, like
Oh,
a
yeah,
combination.
you'll acclimate, I guess is the word. You'll pick up the accent, and people are so nice there. They
Thank you.
like
I
the
picked
hush
it up.
puppies. And, yeah,
Oh my God, I love the hush puppies and the battered seafood and
yeah,
the malls and the strip
hmm
malls.
yeah,
And I
yeah.
love that I met Michelle, my dear love, who I want back to this day. Michelle and Hannah, my two loves, and dear friends of mine that loves in my life and guardian angels, I guess I could
Oh, that's
say.
neat.
I don't
Good
mean
for
to make
you.
you blush. I'm sorry if I do, but hi, Hannah. Hi, Michelle, wherever you are.
Hey, before we go any further, I think I have a couple of viewers. I believe I do.
Yeah, say hi to them.
I'm looking online here, and I know that yeah, I know that one of them is watching in Japan.
Yay,
So
Japan!
yeah, Shem,
Woo!
hello. How you doing, my friend Shem? with his family
Shin. Hi,
in
Shin.
Japan.
We love
Yeah.
Japan. Yeah, I got to go visit there one day myself too.
Oh yeah, he loves it,
Yep.
and loves the people there. They're really nice, you know. And
Yes.
so then and he's from Australia originally, but another
Australia's
buddy.
nice too. I want to visit Australia. I've
Yeah, I
never
know,
been.
right? I'd never.
Australia.
I'm like an armchair traveler. I get like a vicarious thrill. Another buddy of mine
Yeah.
who is in Severn, Maryland, Tommy Finley. Hey, Tommy and his
Yeah.
family.
Yeah, we love
So
Maryland. Yeah.
yeah.
Especially speaking of Maryland, that's where Pat Sajak lived for a long time, right?
Yes, yeah, he has a
Yeah.
place there, Severna Park, and
Awesome.
yeah, off of I guess it's north of Chesapeake Bay. I forget how all that geography works up in there, but it's the ocean makes its way up there, and
Yes, it
so
does.
yeah,
Now,
yeah,
I know Pat has a small place in Los Angeles.
yeah. I don't know how small it is. I've not been,
Or is it
but
big? I don't, well, small, but we know
yeah,
it. We know the grocery store he shops at thanks to an article. And I remember the
uh-huh.
story where he gone to. Hey, I remember the story where he got to. I'll be honest with you, Jim. He got in and out.
Oh,
He
did he?
got yeah, he got himself a big burger, and that leads me to my next question. We're going to talk about Ryan and Pat and Vanna and the history of Wheel, and a little bit of Chuck Woolery,
Mhm.
hopefully, if I can remember.
Yeah.
And of course, Rolf and Bob Goen.
Mm-hmm. I remember
Hopefully, I
Bob
can.
Goen. I remember that
Yeah,
name. Yeah.
absolutely. Now, I only have so much time to ask so many questions, but I'm going to try to get through everybody's comments, everybody's questions, everything.
Yeah. Rock and roll.
Thank you. Yes. Now, what do you like to eat for breakfast, especially on a day of taping? Like you, Pat, Vanna, Ryan. How do you take your coffee when you like work on Wheel? How do you start your day? What's your favorite way? Do you folks have a preferred method?
Yeah, the I know what I do. I bring my lunch. I bring my it's like a kind of a brunch, and I usually make like a turkey burrito or something like that. So
Ah,
I
good.
kind of skip breakfast, but I do what I have. I have oatmeal
Oh,
in the morning. I'll have oatmeal when I get there, early in the morning, like 6:30 or so. I get there usually at like 5:30 actually, but the commissary is open and they have oatmeal ready by about 6:30. So I do that and put some fruit in it. And then I'll also later on I'll have the burrito just to give me something to hold me over because it's a different schedule than I'm used to.
yes.
We don't eat lunch until about 2:30 in the afternoon. So if I don't eat something, we start taping at noon. I'll get the shakes and shimmies, you know. So I do that. Vanna will get. Sometimes she'll get like a donut. As I see her down there,
Gotcha.
sometimes she'll get some oatmeal.
Oh,
Yeah. So
cool. Donut
and
girl.
Ryan, he's working at Kiss, I guess, in the morning on the radio station. So
Yeah.
he doesn't come in till 10, so he'll have his own breakfast and do his own thing. But yeah, so
What about Pat? What was his coffee or
I don't
breakfast
know.
like?
I never saw him come in and eat anything at the commissary because he also would come in like around 10 o'clock in the morning. And we didn't tape
Gotcha.
until, yeah, we tape in around noon,
You
you
came
know,
in
so
later. So you
yeah.
would you would eat your brunch before the taping,
Hmm.
right? Gotcha.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
And
just have
then
something in my belly. Yeah,
yeah,
I'm not I try not to eat too much because the microphone adds 10 pounds, as they
I
say.
know, which is
Yeah,
why I try to drink and try to drink a lot of water beforehand.
right.
All right, very awesome.
Yeah.
So, do you have a favorite kind of coffee? How do you take your coffee? Speaking of coffee with Chris.
Oh, I like a pretty dark coffee. I do the Keurig thing now, the pods.
Cool.
And so I'll have but I have what my friend Tommy calls foo-foo
Yes.
creamer. He calls
Foo
it foo
creamer.
foo-foo because it's already got the sugar in it. It's Coffee Mate. And I get the cinnamon or I get the chocolate and I put it in there, pour a whole bunch in there to cool it down because I'm just impatient. I want to drink it. So that's what I do.
Awesome.
Yeah, I grew up
That's
drinking
good.
coffee with my dad. Always did this and still does. He loves foo-foo creamer. By the way, my dad does. I got him hooked on it. But
Wonderful.
we always had milk and sugar, and as a kid, he would give me coffee. We'd go hunting or whatever in the hills of West Virginia and Kentucky, and have a big thermos of coffee, and that was part of the fun of it. Because getting up at 4 was not to go
I
hunting.
know. Hunting in Kentucky. Wow. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
well, I mean, around Ohio, West Virginia, Kentucky, where I grew up. So yeah,
Oh, nice, nice.
yeah.
They travel around there all over there. Sounds like an
Yeah.
adventure. Yes. I was into hunting, but I can't say I don't think I can say I'm not anymore into hunting, but it seemed like a
Mhm.
fun adventure. But
Yeah, it
ah,
was fun getting out there. I didn't like the blam blam part really,
I didn't like the killing of the animals. Me
yeah,
too. Me
yeah,
too. Maybe
but my
since
dad
from when
always
you
was
were a
into it.
kid.
Yeah, when you're a kid and
Yeah,
your dad is into it, it's like you go along, you do it. So,
I understand. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So anyway, you're so awesomely dressed, like in your shirts and blazers and sweaters. Where do you get your clothing from for wheel?
Oh, I will thank you. Where do I think Men's Warehouse is where I got those suits.
Oh, nice. Men's Warehouse.
They're
Wow.
getting a little out of date, but yeah,
Yeah.
I have four that I kind of just rotated and out, I'm just whatever. And then a bunch of I
Yeah.
probably have about 20 shirts, I guess, and I guess I forget where I got all those, just the department store, whatever. Needless
Gotcha.
markup.
Yeah.
Mervyn's, I don't know. Marshalls, I'm not sure where I got them.
Yeah.
But
Definitely.
yeah,
Definitely.
but
How
and
about go
but
ahead. I'm
I
sorry.
otherwise I dress a lot like in a Hawaiian shirt or whatever around the house and
I love
stuff.
Hawaiian shirts, yeah, and
Yeah,
sweaters,
yeah,
basic sweaters with black t-shirts
mm-hmm,
or
yeah,
turtlenecks. Yeah, I'm into turtlenecks. I always get my
yeah.
blood.
You've
I
got the
always
crew neck thing going on now, though, right? So
Oh, thank you. That's the crew neck. Yeah,
yeah,
definitely the round crew neck. And
mm-hmm,
I got my dark blue pantsuit, which I hope to get done altering. I got that at a place. I actually got that at Macy's, and when I sometimes put it on for my podcast, but I didn't have time because I had it like
mm-hmm.
Charlie Horse when I got up this morning.
Oh wow,
I
yeah,
took two naps. I slept and then I got up early and I went back to sleep because I felt so
mm-hmm,
groggy.
yeah.
Because I was at Chiller Convention meeting Lydia Cornell. I
Oh
met Lydia Cornell for Too Close to Comfort. Shout out to her.
yeah, Lydia
Jim
Cornell.
J. Yeah, Lydia Cornell and Jim.
Was she the mom? Was she the mom in?
No, she was the blonde daughter. The mother was Nancy DeSalle. The two daughters
Right.
were two
Oh yeah,
grown
yeah, yeah. Oh
daughters
yeah, yeah. Okay,
were
yes, yes, yes.
Deborah
Yeah.
Van Valkenburg. I met her
Too close for
too.
comfort. Wow, yeah, that goes
I
back.
And
And
who
Jim J.
else? Jim
Bullock.
J.
Yeah, I remember
Bullock from
Jim.
Hollywood Squares and Too
I
Close for
remember Jim J.
Comfort.
Bullock. Yeah, I remember that show. Yeah.
I told him, I'm sorry, I'm getting a little excited here. I told him that for you know how the trip and when you come back from a contention, you get lightheaded because the city
Yes.
knocks you out.
Yeah.
Well, so much going on, but yeah, I told Jim J. Bullock is what I meant to say that I saw him a long time on Hollywood Squares and Too Close for Comfort, and
Yeah.
he told me, "Honey, I've been around," and I kind of laughed
Uh,
with that.
he has. Those were all great shows, though.
I
Um,
said he was wonderful on it.
you know,
Yeah,
yeah. I'm trying to think of who hosted back then Hollywood Squares after Peter
John
Marshall.
Davidson.
John Davidson. That's right. Yeah,
I'm
that
tied to John
style of his.
Davidson. I love John Davidson.
I
I met
remember
him.
John Davidson. He performed one time. I never forgot this. I was probably like 13 or 14,
Yeah.
and he was on the Tonight Show performing a song, and he forgot the lyrics.
Oh
That's
my.
your worst nightmare as a singer.
Yes.
I always sang and stuff, but that's your worst nightmare. And he said, "No, no, no, don't stop. I want to show people that this is live." So he just picked it up and he said, it goes like this." And it was such a real moment. It was like,
I
wow,
love it. I love it when
behind
things
the
go
curtain.
natural. I prefer it when they forget the lyrics.
You
It
don't
may
see
be,
that very often.
yeah,
You don't see that often,
yeah, hey, it may
you
be
know.
embarrassing, but I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Oh,
I like
yeah.
that we're real
So,
people. We're actually in the real world. It's not the glamorous, glitzy that
right.
Hollywood wants to make. The community of Hollywood wants to
Yeah.
make it
Exactly.
believe us
Yeah.
believe.
Yeah, I mean, and I
But
know our one of I know a cue card person, and he was talking about that he worked on all these soap operas, and there's some actors who cannot. They come in some of them come in every day, and they're all prepared and everything on these soap operas, and it's a lot of memorization, and others of them just don't memorize a thing. Everything has to be right there on cue card, and that's that's all they do is read the cue card, read what's on the card.
exactly, read the cue card. Any body language marked in it?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Just read what's on the card. Yeah.
Those
So,
soap operas,
mhm.
soap operas are wonderful. Yeah. I don't know if I could work on a soap opera today, but maybe I would work on The Bold and Beautiful if I as an
Hmm.
extra, or
Yeah.
what else? The Young and the Restless,
Days of Our Nights.
Days of Our Nights, yeah, Days of Our Lives, or
As the stomach
another
turns.
as
Yeah.
our stomach becomes queasy. I
Yeah,
don't know.
there was one. I remember the guiding light was one that there was
Love
when we were
that.
kids or when I was a kid.
Yes,
The Edge of Night was also another one. I
I
don't know how I
remember
remember
that.
any of these, but
Yeah, and that Jeopardy replaced it on its last go
did it?
about. Yep,
Wow.
in New York at least, or in Philadelphia.
Hmm. Hmm.
A couple of when whatever the American Broadcasting Company, many of those affiliates picked up Jeopardy
Mm.
for those of the markets that were in like early morning or late at
Hmm.
night. I remember WNBC, the National Broadcasting Company, had
Yeah.
it on at 2 o'clock or 1:30 or 1 o'clock. I think it was after Letterman, right?
The National Biscuit Company, wasn't it?
The National Biscuit
NBC?
Company,
That's
RCA.
Nabisco.
I know.
Yeah.
You gotta love your NBC biscuits. But
Yeah.
anyway, ABC took it over and
Uh,
they became number one ever since December of 1984, right
hmm.
before the new year.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
then it moved to 7 o'clock in September of 1986.
Wow. You are a walking treasure trove of trivia.
Oh, thank you, especially for the New Yorkers and Virginians. I
Yeah.
do my research for Virginia on the radio boards because I didn't really get to spend much time until the late 80s, early 90s, I think,
Yeah. Yeah.
in
Wow.
Virginia.
Yeah. Well, cool. You should you have not been to Wheel of Fortune, right?
No, but I would love to go one day. And
Yeah.
Jeopardy.
For anybody who goes, the tickets are $3,000 each, but they're really great seats. And no, I'm just kidding.
Oh my God.
Tick
VIPs.
Yeah, tickets are free, and I don't think I think that it's a law under standards and practice is probably a federal law that you cannot charge people to come to a game show. There's a little interesting factoid for you.
Oh
That you
wow.
can't charge admission. I think that
Didn't
yeah,
know that.
it's sort of maybe it smacks of a lottery or something. I don't know what it is, but anyway, that's somebody decided you can't do that, which is great. So all the tickets are free. You write in wheeloffortune.com is where you go if you want to be a contestant on the show. You can audition there. You submit a video of however long. I think they'll tell you how long, like a minute or something like that, talking about yourself and why you'd make a good player. And then they test you after that. If you make that first cut, you get to the second cut, and they test you like this by Zoom, and it's timed or whatever like that. So you get so much time. So anyway,
Awesome.
cool. I just
Now,
thought I'd throw some stuff out there for you before we
gotcha.
get too far afield.
Yeah. Now, how about when they get to the studio and they're all selected? Do you know what they go through and what the
Hmm.
contestants go through? And
Hmm.
my question is, I know they get a lunch break. They used to eat, according to some people on the internet, they went to a place called Victor's where they got pizza and sandwiches in the break room.
Oh yeah, I guess there's a place called Victor's nearby. I don't know. I've not been there. Near Sony, I guess, right?
Near Sony, yeah, I believe it's in Culver City. Yep, in the heart of Sony. Yep.
Yeah, I've not. I don't guess I've had pizza from there or whatever. So yeah, maybe I guess they might do that.
Yeah.
We feed them. Yes, I'll bet that's Victor's. That I don't know. We have our own commissary, and they we feed
Yeah.
them there, and they do have pizza sometimes. Maybe they bring it in from anyway. Yeah.
Oh,
So
nice.
the deal is they come in around I think 6:30 in the morning. The contestants do, and we have all the contestants for the entire day. There's 6 shows that we tape typically. Sometimes we do 5 shows in one day, but we choose the people at random for each select show. So there are 3 per show, as you
Yes.
know, 3 contestants. So you know right off which show you're going to be on and which position you'll be in. Will you be red, yellow, or blue? And so then,
Awesome.
but we warm them up, and they fly themselves to the show, by the way, out to Sony. They fly themselves here to California from
Yeah.
where, they get themselves to the show. And then they uh, go through practices. We rehearse with him about 8 o'clock in the morning, and I get to meet him. I come out and say hi and tell some stupid jokes, and they come again.
I know.
That's like a warm up. So they get to spin the wheel, see how heavy it is, and stuff like that.
Yeah, the
And
adjuster
okay,
spinning.
look at the available letterboard or whatever they call it. It's like
Use
sometimes we
letterboard.
yeah, we call it the used letter board sometimes, which it's not. It's the unused letters. So it's the available letters, really, the consonants, and then underneath it you have the vowel sounds. So then you can pick and choose from that, which is great for process of elimination. So that's how that kind of works. And then, but that's the general rhythm is they do that. We do the first three shows. There's a break, and so they get to go and have their break at the same time that we do, basically, as talent and cast and crew. Um,
Awesome.
at the commissary. Yeah, they're nearby, but we don't like mingle. We don't do that. So that would not be a good look. We say hi and I talk to them and whatnot, but you don't want to look like you're playing favorites. All again for the appearances in
Exactly. The
society.
cheating. The
But how are you going to
cheating.
cheat on Wheel of Fortune? I mean, I don't know
I
the
know.
answers, and so.
I know. Nobody knows the answers, but still they take like big steps.
Hmm.
It's sort of like
Yeah.
a security measure since they've been doing it throughout the 1950s and
Right.
60s and 70s. The quiz show
Quiz show.
fiasco.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a great movie. Remember that?
Yep.
It was really that way. They rigged those shows.
21. Yeah.
$64,000 question or whatever one of those. Yeah.
Dotto, yeah. And Jack
Yeah.
Norris didn't have anything to do. Jack Norris didn't have anything to do with it, of course,
Really.
and he had to testify
Yeah.
before Congress and whatever.
Interesting. Yeah, so
Yeah.
those are the pillars that we're standing on, or those are the bones of people whose careers we're standing upon, I guess, if legally speaking, at this point, with our show. All that
Yeah.
stuff has been
Standards and
tried, and it did
practices,
not
as
end
they
well.
call it. The
Yeah.
standards and practices they have
Mm,
now,
yeah.
which is, I believe, Capital Cities or Disney or whoever co-owns the show with Sony.
Wheel Califon Productions. I'm not sure who has a stake in it. They keep me conveniently tucked away from that part
Yeah,
of the
Caliphone,
decision
that's
making.
Merv's company that
Califon,
originally
yeah.
that
Uh-huh.
Sony bought.
Hmm.
Sony bought them.
I guess so,
Wow. I
yeah.
guess we'll talk about the prices right before we get a little bit back into wheel. We're going
Sure.
fast for these
And what little I
questions.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's a good subject matter, I feel, because
Yeah.
when you hosted Rod Roddy, how did you feel? Like, what were you, when I meant by that, it was going through Rod Roddy's shoes, like going in his announcer's
Yeah.
booth
Yeah.
and
Okay.
to
Yeah.
feel
Oh,
like
yeah.
taking the void from him, especially throughout the circumstances that have been happening with him
Yeah.
for the show back in 2003 to 4 and
Mhm.
after Rich filled in.
Yeah. Yeah. That was,
Rich
like I said,
Fields.
I came right. Rich Fields, who is a friend of mine, and
Yes.
he's a good guy. I've known him for since we were both in radio. He started out a little before me, but much the same way. But yeah, I got in there toward the end, like I say, and I just kind of dragged my feet. I've never have been one of those to, hey, somebody died. Let's bang on the door and let's send my tape in.
No.
And maybe I should have been
I
that way a little
know.
bit, but I wasn't. And I just also was not real
Yeah.
aggressive ever that way. I was more like, just show me where the gig is. I wanted to work, 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 and radio, TV, whatever. I just
Exactly.
wanted to do nothing but work, and so was not that big on the self solicitation. But I did that. I sent in a CD, and I heard back really quickly. And amazingly, behind the scenes, they said, "Yeah, we didn't get all that many submissions." We thought we'd be flooded with all these people who want to be a game show announcer for The Price is Right. And I always thought that's what everybody wants to do. That's what everybody says they want to do in radio, and
Yes.
but not everybody, I think, really
Yeah.
wanted to step up to that plate or whatever. I don't know what it was, but they didn't get that. I mean, so it's really interesting. So,
Gotcha.
so the competition wasn't that, there wasn't really a lot of people. And in the end, like I say, it was a crazy experience. My first time being in game shows, and it's something that I'd always wanted to do since I was a little boy. I wanted to be the voice on the TV, or else I wanted to be, a disc jockey. And I
Yep.
had a little radio station when I was like 9 years old in the basement. I played my stepsister's records on
Oh, cool.
like on a Panasonic tape recorder. Hey, this is Jimmy Thornton, and on whatever on and I would call radio stations pretending to be like local. country women because I was a kid. I couldn't do a man's voice, so I just whatever it was, what the topic was. It's say you know. I had these clothes and they just didn't fit right, and whatever it was, I don't know. I just would, but I always had them going because I could always mimic voices, and even as a kid. Anyway, but I got that gig, that 2 weeks there. I met Bob, and he was so nice,
Yeah,
and it was
awesome.
a crazy experience. Imagine the first time Roger Dobkowitz, the executive producer, is such a nice guy, and he gave me the shot there.
Yes.
And he said, "Now, do you have a routine?" Everybody says yes, but even if you don't have one, just come up with it. I said, "Yeah, I'll come up with something." And I just did some kind of silly stuff, dancing around and all that, and played some games with the audience. It's you're so scared because you're
Yeah,
going to be on national television. You don't want to screw it up. Stop tape. You don't want to hear somebody yell that, right? But they don't do
exactly.
that. They don't do that anyway. But you just would pick
I
it up later.
know.
But you feel like this. Wow, you want it to go really well, and then you're trying to look like you're having fun, but you're scared out of your pants. And so I ran out there on stage, and man, this audience just was screaming and yelling. I could have done anything. And for just a second, I forgot to be nervous. And I just remember riding that high. I thought, this is what it feels like to be a rock star. Literally. These people were just screaming. It wasn't because of me, it was because they were excited to be there and something was about to happen. But everything I did was just like, so it's an easy audience, to win over. But then you got to go right from that. You don't want to overtax yourself because you got to go right from that into these reads. And it's not just Chris Kennedy, come on down. That part's easy. It's the
Yeah, I
like
know.
2 pages of
Oh,
script that are
yes.
hooked together, and while you're doing it. So they're pretty.
Like
There were some pretty long
describing,
reads.
yeah, like,
Yeah,
come on down, or
yeah.
describing the
So
car, or the
uh-huh.
prize, and whatever.
You know,
Like a
and
new
and
boat.
yeah, I mean, now if I went to go back and do it, I would just have a great time because you've proven yourself, and you get to a certain point in your career where you just like you don't take it too seriously. That's the point. You don't want to take,
Exactly.
you don't want to care. So but it was great.
Yeah.
Rich got the gig. I heard a number of years later, and Rich was great at it. But I heard
Yeah.
that I I was going to get the gig. Bob Barker said that my voice was too overpowering. He was afraid that my voice would kind of be overpowering compared to him, and I can totally understand that.
Wow.
So, I
Yeah.
mean, that's not a bad thing. But I was also pretty stiff, I think. I did it all. Went through all the mechanical, hey, hey, But to me, I feel like I could have been so much looser. But you know what? I got no. Um, I'm not ashamed of that performance at all. A couple of weeks it was good, and I had a few times where I had to pick it up afterwards. That's how they do that there, or did that, where you would just, if you made a fluff, you would go back and re-record after the show and
Yes.
everything. So,
I
but what a great experience, man! I tell you. And like I say, I'm so happy. Rich Fields has a book,
yeah. And
audio.
your
I listened to.
GPS. I love it.
Yes,
Trust your gut
yes, it's great. It's great. And I
intuition.
related to it so much. I said, dude, we got to get together for lunch because he
Yeah.
moved to LA. He's about 4 or 5 years older than me. So but he did exactly the same kind of thing. But he was living out of his car for a little while. I didn't do
Oh
that, but I moved out
no.
at 19 years old with a roommate, and we went to Burbank and lived there, while I worked at fast food, whatever I could because I knew I wanted to
Yeah.
be in radio and I lived it and breathed it. But man, nobody wants to hire a kid like fresh off the but with an accent. I did traffic when I was 20. That's when I got on the air. I was 20 years old.
Wow.
But that's about a year after I moved out before I made it on the air. But still, that's pretty young. So I was doing traffic at Metro Traffic Control for KNX News Radio and some other stations.
10X. Yes.
Yeah, uh-huh. And I
And you
worked
were
at
doing, I'm
yeah,
sorry, go ahead. But
Oh, I worked at
okay.
KNX until just COVID about 5 years ago, and it hit. And then we
Oh
kind of
my.
I'm still great friends with all those people, but I just got
Yeah.
busy, and it was long drives to work and everything.
I heard you did some news shows and you worked on Monsters Inc. as an actor. I
hmm
read that somewhere. Did you work on Monsters Inc.?
Yeah, the 2001. Yeah, I did.
That was a
Yeah,
great
I was.
show.
Yeah, I was the guy in the that sets up what the company does, what Monstropolis does. The future is bright at Monsters Incorporated. We're part of your life. We power your car. We warm your home. We light your city. Carefully matching every child to their ideal monster, and blah blah blah. Anyways, that's the part toward the beginning of the film. Yeah, that was fun to do.
I love that one. Yeah. How about the
Yeah.
news shows? You have any news shows that you've done, like when you were an anchor
Oh,
or
I
you hosted?
did you say news shows
No,
or?
news shows, like news that you were a news anchor. It says
Well, I
you're.
anchored the news on KNX, and we
Oh,
did.
that was your radio shows. Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought you did some TV news shows or
No,
television.
no. I mean, I did some long ago. I did. I mean, 15, 20 years ago, and I did some stuff on the History Channel and things that you nobody would know. They're just documentaries and a series of documentaries. One called "I Survived," which was kind of fun. There were interesting
Oh,
things that they
nice.
had on there, but that's whatever. You know what I did do, which was a lot of fun for people if you're familiar with Celebrity Deathmatch. This is like almost 20 years ago. Oh five, oh six, something like that. I was Johnny Gomez, one of the two ringside announcers on this show called Celebrity Deathmatch on MTV.
Celebrity Deathmatch. I
Hmm.
remember now. That
Yeah,
was
it was
you.
so fun. And now all the actors that we would spoof, like Nicole Richie, Paris
Yeah.
Hilton. Nobody even remembers, half these people. We'd had some like Adam West, and Adam West was really going to be there. For, Batman, the Batman that I remember
Yeah.
as a little kid.
Me too.
When it was on, I would watch reruns in the afternoon. This is in the '70s, and I was little, and I would just run around the house with a little towel around, doing the Batman theme. But he was going to be there, but somehow he wasn't able to. His management, they didn't clear the paperwork. I forget what it was, so we had to do a sound alike. But it was between him and Christian Bale, was it? Who
Yes.
played Batman. So they were going to fight to the death, made out of clay. It's anyway. These are great shows, and it was fun. So, yeah,
Absolutely. I want to tell you that we have four fabulous viewers tuning in. If you have want to say hi to Jim, feel free to ask him anything on the live chat on YouTube. You can go to the live chat at the
yeah,
side of the screen, or it's at the bottom of your phone if you're looking on an iPhone right now.
yeah.
Yeah, please say hi,
That's really cool.
or you can email me at ckennedygames@gmail.com. I will look at your comments for
That's really
Jim.
cool.
Please do
Yeah.
say hi to us. So we went over a lot of stuff, and I'm just going to ask you one other thing, and then we'll go back to some of the other stuff, I guess, to kill some time. But
Okay.
I
Good.
would, yeah,
Yeah.
I would love to work in producing and hosting game shows, especially for, well, I know I'm not a fan of the television game shows that are out there, probably except for Jeopardy and maybe Wheel of Fortune. The
Mm-hmm.
Price is Right. And I
Mm-hmm.
think let's make a deal I don't know about, but I know like Price, Wheel, and Jeopardy.
Mm-hmm.
Those are my three favorites because they stayed true to their form.
They did. Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to know how would I get to work in producing and hosting game shows for like the podcast realm, for like Apple Podcast, or what
Hmm.
kind of advice would you have for me? Like if I wanted to announce or host or work in production or whatever, because I had created some of my game shows out there, like Arcade Challenge.
And that's
Um,
you're talking about you. You're not reading that, Chris, right? You're talking about
no, I'm
yourself.
talking. I actually read that. I wrote that myself. That particular one.
Okay. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wrote this particular one myself
Mm-hmm.
from my mind. So whenever I'm saying,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm trying to remember what I wrote, but yeah,
Yeah.
I created one called Arcade Challenge. I created one called Beat the House. What else did I create?
Wow.
TV Talk, a bunch of other
Beat
ones
the
that.
House sounds kind of fun.
Oh, thank you. This is Arcade Challenge. These are for video game. I know there's a lot of gamers out there that, but we play the
Hmm.
old game. We would play like the retro games, like what do you
Hmm.
call it, Ms. Pac-Man and a bunch.
Oh
And
yeah.
I talked to Rich Fields about this, but what is your advice for this? I'm trying to get many, uh, what would you
Mhm.
call it? Different people like Dean Goss and Burton Richardson and maybe Bob Hilton.
Oh
Anybody,
yeah. Yeah, I know
anybody from
Burton. Yeah, I know
Burton's
Burton. We worked together a little
wonderful.
bit. Yeah. I mean, I would, and I don't stay close to the production side of it, but I would say just get your,
Gotcha.
just get your name out there. Just I know they say network, but I would uh, I would make sure your product, whatever you have to offer, producing or whatever, is as good and sharp as it can be.
Yeah.
But don't waste time advertising yourself to the right people.
Yeah,
It's about ambition. It's about also getting known.
yeah.
People always have said, "Oh, Hollywood, it's always who you know, blah blah blah." Every business is like that. Every
Yeah.
business of any size. If it's the
Yes,
grocery
yes.
store in Des Moines, Iowa, and they see this kid who's 16, 17 years old and he seems to be working a lot and everything, they're going to hire that kid because they know him. They say, you know what, that boom, to whatever it is, to sweep up or whatever it is,
Yes.
or they hire the
I'm so
bookkeeper from door
the
because they know that
bookkeeper,
person. They walk
yeah.
in and it's the way it works. So there's some of that, but also just have something to offer maybe that's fresh. Also, like you say, you have some ideas for the game show. If that's the realm that you're going for, producing, they want fresh ideas that aren't too uh, out there, that aren't too untried or untested. If you're talking about executive producing, like
Yeah.
Bellamy Blackstone is our
Bellamy
executive producer.
Blackstone, the
She and
daughter
Jenna,
of the Blackstone magician.
yeah,
I
yeah.
forget his name. I'm sorry.
Harry
I remember.
Blackstone, that's
Yeah.
her granddad, right? I forget how,
Her
but
dad. I think it's
yeah,
her
she's got
dad.
such a great
Yeah.
legacy, and yeah,
Yeah.
she's
I remember
yeah,
the magician Harry
uh-huh,
Blackstone from Square One and a bunch of other
yeah,
shows. And the Dunkin' Donuts cereal commercial.
okay, yeah. See,
The
and I don't
donuts
remember any of
commercial.
that stuff, but yeah,
Yeah.
but it's pretty cool. So yeah, she has we went over to the Magic Castle, and Harry Blackstone has this whole
Oh,
section and everything. So
nice.
yeah, it's pretty cool. It's neat having people who are kind of connected with Hollywood, but we all are kind of connected to Hollywood. Everybody feels like we have a connection to it. That's the magic of it, I think. Everybody belongs
Yes.
there. Everybody has a seat at the table, or they should. If you want to get into show business, though, but I make your product as good as possible. I say that to voiceover people too. Don't uh, don't have the misconception that anything is just easy. That's the biggest
Takes
mistake people
work.
make. It's they feel
Takes
like they see
work.
an actor and they completely miss. It's like when you're looking at Mount Everest and you only see the peak. You don't see the millions of steps it takes to get there. You just mentally we do that. We bridge that gap and it's a short circuiting, but it doesn't really work that way. Don't worry about that. Just worry about making yourself as fit a climber as you can be to climb that, and there's no problem. Then then
So,
then you'll always find a perch.
yeah. So it means put the work in and you'll find your way, right?
Yeah, I mean, yes, and be
Gotcha.
willing to do that because there's joy in it. Otherwise, find another business. It's okay. This is not, this business is full of a lot of disappointments, along the way, and
I
for
know.
a lot of people, it
At
can be,
least, yeah, at least
you know.
the beauty of Apple Podcast is there's no cancellations because
Right.
you're once you put it up there, you own the
hmm
episodes and you post it
Yeah.
forever and ever and
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah, now people can put themselves out there talent-wise with no risk. I mean, really, what's the worst that's going to happen? You don't get a sponsorship. So what? You're right back where you were before. You didn't get on a bus
Exactly.
and go 3,000 miles or an airplane like I did, like you had to in the old days, and then risk everything, live hand to mouth, and who knows what. So I mean, there's still agents that are located and those are sort of based where you are, but I guess they're even getting away from that more and more, where agents representing actors and voiceover people like me, maybe they don't have to be right in the same city. But I don't know about that. That's probably slower to change. You know.
Gotcha. When I'm moving to Virginia, I'm going to actually host shows in either Virginia, Pennsylvania, or Florida if I had to
Uh-huh.
select. So
Yeah.
I would probably select Florida of all places
Would you?
because, yeah, because I like the pink, what do you call it? The pink
Flamingos?
buildings, flamingos. Yeah, the
Yeah.
flamingo style buildings,
Oh
especially.
yeah, like the Art Deco.
Art Deco, yeah, the
Like
Miami
yeah, like Old
Vice,
Town, like yeah, like
Old
the
Town
Little
Miami.
Havana.
Little Havana, 70s,
Uh-huh.
80s, and early
Yeah,
90s.
what's that?
Yeah.
There's that turquoise hotel that whatever the name of it is, but
Is
it's
it the
Scarface, right?
Scarface, the Fountain Blue, right?
I maybe
Fountain
that's what
Blue.
it is. Something like
And I
yeah, but
think
that's the one
that
they use
that one in
there.
Miami. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Say
one in
hello to my
Miami.
little friend.
Say hello to my little friend. Yeah, I've heard
Yeah.
of the Fountain
My
Blue.
little friend.
I know that was Tony Montana with
Yeah.
his
Yeah.
whatever it was called.
Worst accent ever he was doing in that movie.
I know.
Say hello, my little friend.
Yeah. Come
It was
on,
pretty
say
funny.
hi, everybody. I know you're tuned in. Say hi to
Yeah, that's
Jim.
nice.
Please say hi to Jim in the chat. I invited you to say hi. Come on, Jim wants
Yeah,
to hear from you.
I wonder if Shem's still watching in Japan or Tommy in Maryland now.
Hey,
He
Shim.
might
Hey,
be.
Tommy. How are you? And how are you, folks? Good to meet you.
Yeah. Oh,
All right.
good
Thank
stuff.
you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, what didn't I ask you yet? Did you ever get to visit behind the scenes at Jeopardy while you worked at Wheel?
Oh, sure. Yeah. There's not much behind the scenes. I mean, it's just there's a dressing room. Hung out in Alex's dressing room a few times or what? No,
Cool.
I didn't hang out there, but I know
I
where that. Yeah,
know.
there's his room, and the talent's room, Ken's room, and then you got the stage, and you just, all it is a box, every stage, and then you have the set within that. So, and
Yeah.
for us, and I imagine a lot of game shows are this way. There's a big curtain that goes around it at Wheel, and I think
Cyclorama.
yeah, you can pull
The
back that curtain. It's like a
lighting.
big shower curtain, a huge shower curtain. You can pull it back and you can wheel things in and out or whatever, change pieces of the set. They don't really change the pieces of the set over there on Jeopardy, as you know, but yeah. In 2019, um, Johnny Gilbert, my protege over there at
Yep. Johnny
or
Gilbert.
my
Cheers to
whatever,
you,
yeah, my
Johnny.
my
We love you,
counterpart.
Johnny Gilbert. Yep.
Yeah, he's great. He's so
How are
great.
you, Johnny? Shout
He was over
out if you
there,
ever
but he
see
was out.
this.
He was having knee surgery in 2019, I think it
Oh
was, and
my.
I got to fill in for him and warm up the audience and the whole thing. And my voice was not on it because he went and replaced it, of course, later on. But I just was doing
Gotcha.
tracks, basically going through the motions. It was so wonderful. Wink Martindale came by, Vanna came by, Wink and Sandy,
Bless
and
Wink. I loved
yeah.
you, Wink, forever. You treated me like an equal. I want to tribute to
Oh,
you
he
right
is. Yeah,
now.
I
We loved
love.
you, Wink. I'm
I
choking up
mean,
right now as I say this.
yeah, it's
But yeah, Wink was awesome on Jeopardy, let me tell you. And Wheel. Sandy, we
yeah,
love
and
you
tic tac
too.
toe.
My prayers, you're in my hearts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh
Tic
my
tac
God.
toe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tic tac toe.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm getting choked up right now. Yeah, tic tac toe,
Yeah.
Gambit, Headline Chasers, Price is
Yeah.
Right. I think he might have
Right.
did on his YouTube page. He did range game play
Did he?
alongs.
Wow. He's done it all. Yeah, I
Yep.
remember him growing up, and it's neat to see these people and get to know them. And they're so nice. You know who else was really nice was I feel like I'm name dropping or something, but
No
this was a
problem.
huge idol of mine growing up. Peter
Yeah.
Marshall. Peter
I love
Marshall
Peter
went He
Marshall.
went to
Yeah.
my high school in Huntington, West Virginia. I went to Huntington High School,
Yes.
and I met him a few years ago in Hollywood. There at when our Harry Friedman, our executive producer, was getting a star in the Walk of Fame,
Yes.
and he was sitting right next to me, and oh, it was so great, and I got to meet him and talk to him, and he was so happy. He didn't know who I was, because whatever, but I said. You and I went to the same high school. Where's that? I said Huntington High School, and I went to the same college, Marshall University, and they named it after you. Um, his real name was not Peter Marshall, by the way.
Ralph Pierre Lecoq.
Lecoq,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
So
remember that.
yeah, but just such a nice man, tall guy,
Awesome.
and
Very tall, like 6 foot too,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Awesome.
something like that. He was so great on Hollywood Squares, though. He would just, hello,
Yeah.
stars. He just made
Hi,
you just
Chris, or
smell.
hi, Peter, or hi,
Hmm.
John, or
Hello, Paul.
whoever.
Paul Lind was there, and
Hi,
uh,
Jim.
yeah,
Hello, stores. Hi, Jim. How are
yeah,
you, Jim Thornton?
yeah.
Woo!
But
And
Harry
then that's
Friedman
how we
was a joke
start.
writer. Started out writing jokes there and was like the head
Howdy.
joke writer
They
over
wrote
there.
the zingers. Yeah,
And
that's what they
yeah,
call
for
them.
the original Hollywood Squares. Imagine
Yes, I
that.
heard. Yeah, the
Imagine
zingers.
that.
Yep.
And I think as a kid, I didn't realize that those lines weren't, just off the cuff. I didn't realize.
Yeah.
And yeah, they had Paul Lynde was there. Joanne Worley was she? Yeah, right.
Love Joanne Worley, Marsha
Some of those.
Wallace,
Goldie Hawn. Goldie Hawn was
Goldie
in there too,
Hawn,
wasn't she? I
I
mean, they had a
believe.
bunch of people who had been on Laugh-In, you know,
Who
and
else?
so yeah, uh,
I
man,
forget her name.
was Liberace in there sometime?
Rosemary, and maybe
Rosemary,
Liberace.
yes, Rosemary was a fixture.
Vincent Price.
Yeah, was Liberace in there sometimes? He was, wasn't
Yes, yes.
he? Yeah.
And Art Fleming flew from New York to
Yeah.
go on the Hollywood Sports for the game show episode.
Oh, did he? Okay.
One episode of 1 week.
Did he?
For the
Wow.
original Jeopardy, I loved Art Fleming. He's my idol.
Oh, I don't remember seeing any of those shows. I mean, I don't, I guess you could
I
see.
saw him on YouTube actually,
Hmm.
and on syndication when
Yeah, he was
they
before our
aired
time, I
them.
think, but
Yeah, yeah.
hmm but that's cool.
But I love Art Fleming. I like this as much as the Alex Trebek Jeopardy, and of course
Did you?
Ken.
Yeah, I'm just not that familiar with Art Fleming. You know who I did not appreciate because I was a little kid and in the 70s it was Match Game with Gene Rayburn. And seeing
Yeah, I've
those
heard
now,
stories.
I watched those a few years ago on YouTube, and I thought, wow, he was hilarious. He would just do whatever, and what a golden
Yeah.
time that was. There was such irreverence. You could, times were changing.
Yes.
The sexual revolution was happening, kind of, and
He just went
cable
along with it.
cable TV had not yet come out though, so it was a big deal to be on a network show and to have something that was so kooky. Yes, it was a daytime show, and so you could get away with a lot more. Housewives loved you, whatever, whoever their audience was for the target audience. But
Ah, yes,
wow, wow,
definitely.
you know, um, what a great thing game shows are. Just they just because they can be in a live setting. You can have fun. You can be real, and hopefully it has a feel of being unscripted. So
Wow. How much time do we have left? We have 5 or 10 minutes left, I believe.
yeah, they cut you off after 40 minutes or 50 minutes. Is it on Zoom if you don't have the paid account, right?
Well, I pay for it. Thank goodness I pay for it now. So
Good.
I have a little bit of a budget this month, so I can cover that. So that's good. I have my bases covered with that. So we made sure we did it. So we have an uninterrupted interview, I should
That's
say.
great. That's great, Chris.
That's what I like. Thank you.
Yeah, me too.
Any idea
So.
where Alex or Pat, like Alex Trebek and Pat Sajak, get their blazers or suits or whatever?
I don't know. I think actually I mean I know that Pat would get them from he didn't go out and get them, but our
Oh, that's
wardrobe
a
person said he got them from all over. He might have a J.C. Penney. I don't know.
producer.
But
Oh, wow.
I don't know about that. But
Yeah,
maybe, but I'm not
possible.
sure. But all over. Yeah. So, it's whatever looks good, whatever works. And Vanna
And
uses all different kinds of labels.
and
Um
for the
and
dresses,
people ask
yeah,
her, she doesn't know she doesn't know who designed the dress she may have on that day because she goes through so many. She's
yeah,
worn over 8,000 gowns.
yeah. And
And
she told me she
yeah.
didn't get to keep them.
No, they go back to the designer.
Well, she didn't tell me. She said it on the interview,
Yeah.
actually.
Uh-huh.
That's what I meant. Yeah, they go back to the design. Sad, sad,
Yeah.
but it would be
Yeah.
nice if she kept them.
I know, right?
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
read on your social media that you have influenced Vanna's outfits in a way, right? Like you tell her
Yeah.
which she
She
would
and
look good.
I don't make a big thing out of it. Pretty much every day though. She says, Jim, what
Yeah.
do I wear today? Help. And so I occasionally, all right, I help. No, I one time
Yeah.
I think, I asked her. I said, which tie do you think would go with the blah blah blah? She said, oh, I like that one. So, and then later, a few minutes later, she said, which dress do you think? And I think I picked the red one. She said, me too. I like that too. So that's one time that was it. But yeah, no, Kathy Nishimoto does such a great job. She's our wardrobe person, so she helps Vanna pick out gowns, and then Bellamy, our executive producer, kind of helps sort of guide the look too that they're going for. So
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But Kathy's our
Well,
wonderful, our overworked wardrobe person, man. She's worked at CBS for quite a while too. So, yeah, she's.
yeah, CBS.
Mhm.
Bless the people at CBS. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
they're the ones that actually answered my call when I was looking for a studio. However, the
Oh, did they?
price, yeah, however the price that they called for was had to cover union fees, and that was
Mhm.
$25,000. And of course, I don't have that much to splurge at that time. I'm a small operation, but
Wait, you were going to do a studio to do what now? To
a podcast at
and
CBS
you
in
were
New
going.
York.
Oh,
I was asking how much they would charge, and they said they're going to have to cover the union fees, and that's could be a lot and upward. They don't think
yeah.
for a small show that might not be in your range, but it's $25,000, and I
Yeah.
said I couldn't do it.
Yeah. I mean, it's that's the thing about it. Those fees would eat up all that money. It costs a lot to put on a show.
Yes, it
Yeah.
does,
You know.
but I'm
Mhm.
sure the smaller like buildings, like there's some smaller podcast studios that charge much lower than that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and as I
Why do
make
you
my
think,
revenue,
yeah, I mean, there are plenty of studios around, so I
yeah,
mean, in LA and stuff. But
yeah, and
anymore, people just use their living room, I guess. I don't know. Like,
yeah, like, especially in Jersey, because there's not really too many podcast
uh-huh.
studios here.
Right.
There's a few, there's a couple, but you have to know
Hmm.
where to look.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, Jim, we have to do this again if you want to.
Sure.
I would love
Yeah.
to do another show with you. I'm going to send you a couple of messages. I'm going to send you a nice message,
Okay,
of
good.
course, after
Yeah.
that, because I'd like to speak to you after the show, because you sound
Sure.
like a wonderful person and you sound like you could be a wonderful mentor, like as a pen person, you know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
yeah. Well,
I'm
let's
glad,
talk.
yeah, let me know. I'm very grateful that you got to mentor a lot of young, I'm sure young and old, or
Hmm.
however they are, old they are,
Yeah.
people that want to do game show hosting and announcing and whatever, producing
Yeah, what
maybe.
little I know, I've been able to kind of help some people a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
the
I'm
only
lucky to get to be here though. I'm just a guy.
I
And
know, I know, me
a lot of
too.
people can do what I do, I think.
Yeah.
So
Heck,
the way
I'm
I look
grateful.
at it.
Yeah, yeah. Heck, I'm grateful to do the podcasting at least.
Yeah,
That
that's
I have
great.
up my arm. I got the personality, and I think maybe by that alone they would show me under their wing.
Yeah.
I get
We got to
dressed
get
up.
you we got to get a few thousand more viewers and we'll get you a sponsorship for
Yeah.
hey,
1,000 viewers,
I'm
that
drinking
would be
my
nice.
kombucha.
I love the kombucha. Oh my God,
Yeah.
I'm gonna
So
get
maybe
that
there's
one
there's a
day.
sponsorship idea for you.
I'm hoping. I hope so. And I wouldn't mind. Richfields could probably get me a sponsorship in 1,500 views, I
Probably
guess.
so, yeah. He probably
For
could.
what's that? What's that? Terramana tequila? No, Silver Patron. Silver
Yeah,
Patron.
uh-huh. Yeah.
I don't drink tequila that much, but
Yeah.
sometimes I do. I'm more of a coffee person. I don't like
But
to
when you
drink.
do, it's something special, right?
I know it
Something
can be
exotic.
special.
Yeah, something exotic.
Remember, drink responsibly, my friends, and don't drink and drive,
Right.
please.
That's true,
We're
yeah.
against
That's true.
that. No, no.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Jim, I guess you have to get going, right? It's
I
12:30,
do, yeah. I gotta catch a
9:30.
plane and all that stuff to go off
Jim,
to work.
thank you so much. Bless you. We had a wonderful show today,
It
of
was fun.
course.
I had a great
Yes,
time, man.
I was excited. Yeah, fun.
Me
Well,
too.
very excitement. Thank you
Me too.
so much once again. Yeah.
Thank you, Chris, and bye everybody, bye all four of you,
Thank
and
you for tuning in, all my viewers and Jim's viewers.
yeah,
We will see you again on YouTube and Apple Podcasts, hopefully, too, and
yeah.
Instagram and wherever we're posted. Love you all, everybody, ladies and
Bye
gentlemen.
bye.
I got you six, and we're going to end the stream here. All right, take care, everybody. Woo, thank you.
All
Applause.
right.
And we're going off right now. Here we go.
This is Charlie O'Donnell speaking for Coffee with Chris Kennedy, Jim Thornton.